going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Critical Overlord here. We're going to be talking about The Conjuring Last Rites in this video here today. This will be the spoiler review for The Conjuring Last Rites, which is directed by Michael Chaves, once again, who directed Devil Made Me Do It. Also did the recent Nun films. But this is supposed to be the final chapter in the mainline series centered around Ed and Lorraine Warren, which we know started all the way back in 2013 with James Wan at the helm. This screenplay is written by Ian Goldberg, Richard Nang, David Leslie Johnson. It is starring Vera Farmiga, Patrick Wilson, newcomers Mia Tomlinson, Ben Hardy, and several others. So, paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren take on one last terrifying case involving mysterious entities they must confront. The Conjuring Last Rites closes the door on Ed and Lorraine Warren in a satisfying but bizarre fashion. Michael Chaves delivered a film that's closer to those first two entries from James Wan, officially cementing Devil Made Me Do It as the worst outing of these four movies. Some parts of this film do feel bloated. The CGI is cringe, as highlighted in the trailers, and our main family is ultimately rendered irrelevant in the end. Still, Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga's chemistry carries this final entry, along with the heartwarming look at the life of their daughter, Judy. It's just unfortunate that the third act couldn't quite stick the landing of an otherwise, again, more than competent film. Set in 1986, Last Rites centers on the Smurl family case. When one of the daughters, named Heather, is gifted an old mirror, strange occurrences start happening in the home, sparking the family to seek attention from the press in hopes that the Warrens will come to help. As for the Warrens, they are enjoying retirement. A large part of this is due to Ed's recent health struggles. Their daughter Judy is engaged to an ex-cop named Tony. There's some tension there between him and Ed. Shocker. The dad doesn't like his daughter's girlfriend. But their wedding plans are at risk when Judy realizes the Smurl case is connected to her family's past. As I mentioned, Last Rites is very similar to those first two movies. We're split between the Warrens and the Smurls, allowing a chance to connect with the Smurl dynamic, even if they remain inferior to the Perrins and the Hodgson family for those first two films. Every exchange feels authentic, but the relationship between Heather and her sister, can't remember her name, the older sister, was always rotten. Kind of soured my ability to fully invest because of how much these two kept bickering. There was never a real resolution to them actually seemingly caring for one another. I know it exists, but I never got to witness it. They were always just at each other's throats, and I struggled to connect with them because of that. The Smurls are already followers of Christ, so that's a nice shakeup from what we get in those first two movies. Granted, I could be mistaken. I think The Devil Made Me Do It also followed a family who was heavily involved in faith. Correct me if I'm wrong. Where the writers screw up is in the end. Our time with the Smurls served as nothing more than a stepping stone to further uplift the Warrens. Even in The Devil Made Me Do It, the family wasn't an afterthought. Predictable plot points aside, the way that family is discarded had to be the most shocking moment of the film. The Smurls were just glorified bait, and when I look back on how the Warrens get involved, some plot conveniences are hard to digest. But when we weren't with them, the Warren story was so heartfelt and made up for the weaker half of the Smurls. It's just a pity a lot of our time with the Warrens was more suited for a family rom-com until they actually got involved with the Smurl case. Look, I love these two, but going from phone scares and a mystery man with an axe to Ed's drawn-out birthday party was definitely a choice. Still, Last Rites does a wonderful job building stakes for Ed, Lorraine, Judy, Tony, and the pending wedding we as viewers want to see. The work with Judy's fiance is so engaging. His mysterious exit from his duties as a cop kept me invested in learning if this guy really is as good as he seems. Ed and Lorraine's bond has always meant something to longtime fans, but experiencing what they've gone through with Judy up until this point amplified it in a way that I was prepared for and enhanced many scenes later on. As for our scares, the jumps in this film are never annoying or overdone. A few of them are actually quite genius. One in particular happens during a bedroom scene, and I was caught off guard just completely. It caught me so off guard, I almost jumped. It's rare that a jump scare actually makes me jump, but this one definitely almost got me. Some others were unintentionally hilarious due to the cringy CGI I previously mentioned. Some formulaic, isolated scares grow tiresome as you realize characters have to make the dumbest decisions to set these moments up. I'm looking at you, Lorraine Warren. Should be much smarter than you were portrayed in this film. I could be wrong, but I'm certain this film forgot to reveal our villain. It was just a haunted mirror. That's a lie. Last Rites did reveal the villain once and then never again. An interesting choice since the spirits being used to taunt the Smurls have more potential as a main antagonist than the unseen demon controlling them. But whatever. It wanted to eventually just say the big antagonist is this mirror. There's literally a sequence where the mirror is spinning a bunch. Again, just came off more comical than anything. Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga are undoubtedly one of the greatest on-screen couples. Their scenes in Last Rites are toned down a bit to make way for Mia Tomlinson, who delivers a fantastic performance as Judy. She didn't share too many memorable moments with Wilson, but her chemistry with Farmiga kept the mother-daughter dynamic alive and well. I love the way Vera has always sold the terror of the story through her facial expressions. She's doing more of that here. The way a smile can slowly fade and transition into a blank look that then becomes a look of concern or just straight up terror. She's always been an expert at doing that. Big shout out to the two stars named Orion and Madison, who played the younger versions of our paranormal investigators. Great casting choices, and I wanted to spend more time with them. As for the pacing, believe me when I say you are going to feel this runtime, because Ed's party is the biggest sin of this pacing problem. There's great moments there that elevate Tony, but the Smurls needed more screen time for us to invest in what was happening to them. Sometimes we'd cut back and find out some big event happened off screen, and I'm like, you could have shown that had you not have been showing Ed kicking it back with the fellas for too long. The camera work in the film is great. I love some of the initial tracking shots with the family, noticeable callback to how we met the parents, a lot of lingering shots of empty halls, some not so empty basements with superb lighting, out of focus subjects, or just relying on the emotional weight of the characters to keep the suspense there at all times. Well, anytime an overlong birthday party scene isn't happening. But yeah, I'd say that this was a improvement over The Devil Made Me Do It. I don't think The Devil Made Me Do It is a bad film. I recall giving that movie a 7. Over time, I did drop that to a 6.5, and I'm kind of settled on that. I recall in my review I gave it a 7, but I've since then, over the last 4 years, settled on this movie being a 6.5. As for The Last Rites, I'm going to give that one a 7. It's not a massive improvement, but it's an improvement nonetheless over The Devil Made Me Do It, and it's a satisfying conclusion to Ed and Lorraine's story. But let me know what you guys think about all this down in the comment section below. If you haven't already, of course, make sure you subscribe, turn on post notifications, never miss a video. In the description, I have links to all my social media accounts. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can message me there, of course. Let me know if there are any movies, news, or reviews you'd like me to cover in the future. And with all that in mind, guys, I will see you in the next video.